You wake up every morning feeling trapped. Your bank account mocks you. Your dreams collect dust while bills pile up like mountains. You work harder but stay broke. Sound familiar? I am King Solomon, the richest, wisest king who ever lived. God blessed me with wealth beyond measure and wisdom that built empires. And today, I'm going to shatter every lie you've been told about money. Here's the brutal truth. You're not poor because you lack opportunity. You're poor because you lack biblical wisdom about wealth creation. While others chase get-rich-quick schemes, you'll discover the ancient principles that built my legendary fortune. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Your financial breakthrough isn't coming from another job or lottery ticket. It's coming from the same divine wisdom that made me the wealthiest man in history. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the exact biblical strategies I used to accumulate gold, silver, and riches that made kingdoms tremble. This isn't theory. This is battle-tested wisdom from the man who had it all. Your poverty ends today. Your purpose begins now. Pay attention. Your future depends on it. The foundation that makes kings. Listen to me carefully. When God offered me anything I wanted, I didn't ask for gold. I didn't beg for power. I asked for wisdom. And you know what happened? He gave me everything I didn't ask for. Everything. The richest king who ever lived started with one simple choice. Wisdom first, everything else second. You're doing this backwards. You're chasing money like a dog chases its tail, round and round, getting nowhere, exhausting yourself, while the real treasure sits right in front of you. Wisdom isn't some mystical concept your grandmother talked about. It's the operating system of wealth creation, the blueprint every millionaire follows whether they know it or not. Here's what blows my mind. You'll spend 4 years in college to make $40,000 a year. But you won't spend 4 hours learning the principles that built my empire. You'll research every stock tip, every crypto coin, every get-rich-quick scheme. But you won't study the book that created more wealth than any business manual ever written. Proverbs 8 verse 18. With me are riches and honor, not luck, not timing, not connections. Wisdom, the kind of discernment that sees opportunities where others see problems. The kind of understanding that turns pennies into empires. This isn't about working harder, it's about thinking differently. Your broke friends will tell you money is evil. Your rich enemies will tell you wisdom is worthless. Both are lying. Money without wisdom destroys. Wisdom without application starves. But wisdom applied to wealth creation. That's how kingdoms are built. That's how legacies are born. That's how ordinary people become extraordinary leaders. Stop praying for money, start praying for wisdom. Stop chasing dollars, start chasing discernment. Because when you have the wisdom of Solomon, money chases you. When you think like a king, you live like a king. When you choose wisdom over wealth, you get both. And everyone who rejected your potential will bow down to your prosperity. Direction determines destination. You're working yourself to death and staying broke. Know why? You're rowing with no destination, sweating with no strategy, grinding with no GPS. The Bible says without vision, people perish. And brother, your bank account is the proof. Effort without wisdom is like driving blindfolded. You might be going fast, but you're heading for a cliff. I've watched thousands of hardworking people stay poor their entire lives, not because they were lazy, because they were lost. They confused activity with achievement, movement with progress, sweat with success. Here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. The hardest working person in your office isn't the richest. The person who stays latest isn't the most successful. The one who complains most about being busy isn't the most valuable. Hard work without direction is just expensive therapy. It makes you feel productive while keeping you poor. Vision isn't about seeing the future. It's about seeing the path. It's about knowing which doors to open and which to ignore. It's about understanding that not all opportunities are equal. Not all efforts are valuable. Not all work is worth doing. Wisdom shows you the difference between being busy and being profitable. You lack vision because you lack revelation. You can't see where you're going because you don't know who you're becoming. You're so focused on surviving today that you're not planning for tomorrow. So trapped in your current reality that you can't imagine a different destiny. So busy reacting to life that you're not creating it. But here's what changes everything. When you get God's vision for your life, work becomes worship. When you see your destiny clearly, effort becomes effortless. When you understand your assignment, obstacles become opportunities. When you know where you're headed, every step has purpose. Every sacrifice has meaning. Every struggle has strategy. Stop working without direction. Start working with divine vision. Because effort guided by wisdom doesn't just change your paycheck, it changes your bloodline. Excellence opens every door. Nobody's watching you right now. Your boss isn't looking. Your customers can't see you. Your competition doesn't care. This is the moment that separates kings from peasants. This is where character becomes currency. This is where your work becomes your worship. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings, not before managers, not before supervisors, before kings. Excellence doesn't just promote you, it transforms you. It takes you from the back of the line to the front of the palace. But here's what you're missing. Excellence isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about doing your current job so well that your next job finds you. It's about treating every task like it's the most important thing you'll ever do. Because maybe it is. Maybe this moment, this project, this seemingly insignificant assignment is the door to your destiny. I became the wisest king who ever lived not because I was born special, but because I treated every decision, every judgment, every conversation like it mattered eternally. Excellence became my signature. Wisdom became my reputation. And people traveled from around the world to learn from someone who refused to be average. Your current job isn't your career, it's your classroom. Your current position isn't your destination, it's your preparation. Your current paycheck isn't your worth, it's your training ground. Excellence in small things qualifies you for big things. Faithfulness in little prepares you for much. You want to know why you're stuck? Because you do minimum work for maximum pay. You give partial effort for full benefits. You show up physically but check out mentally. And then you wonder why opportunities pass you by. Why promotions go to others. Why your dreams stay dreams. The virtuous woman in Proverbs 31 didn't become successful by accident. She worked with skilled hands. She rose while it was still night. She considered a field and bought it. She made linen garments and sold them. Excellence wasn't her job description. It was her identity, and it transformed her family, her finances, and her future. Stop doing just enough. Start doing everything with excellence. Because when you work like a king, you'll be treated like royalty. When rejection becomes resurrection. Daniel was a prisoner. Joseph was forgotten in a dungeon. Both became rulers of empires. Both started at the bottom and ended at the top. Both faced rejection and found their calling. Both discovered that faithfulness in captivity prepares you for authority and freedom. You think your current situation disqualifies you. You think your past mistakes eliminate your future possibilities. You think where you are determines where you're going. You're wrong. Dead wrong. Your current position isn't your permanent address. Your present struggles aren't your final story. Your temporary setback isn't your eternal destiny. Daniel could have complained about being taken captive. Instead, he excelled in a foreign land. He could have compromised his values to gain favor. Instead, he kept his integrity and gained influence. He could have served reluctantly. Instead, he served excellently and rose to power. His faithfulness in exile prepared him for authority in the kingdom. But here's what destroys most people. They serve poorly when they're not recognized. They work carelessly when they're not appreciated. They give minimal effort when they receive minimal praise. They think faithful service depends on favorable circumstances. They're building their character on other people's reactions instead of their own convictions. Joseph spent years in prison for a crime he didn't commit, forgotten by people he helped, abandoned by those he blessed, but he kept serving, kept believing, kept preparing, because he understood something you need to learn. Your current position is your preparation for your next promotion. Your present test is training for your future testimony. You're not stuck, you're being prepared. You're not forgotten, you're being formed. You're not wasted, you're being refined. Every difficulty you face today is developing the character you'll need tomorrow. Every challenge you overcome now is building the strength you'll require later. Every moment of faithfulness in obscurity is qualifying you for visibility in your destiny. Stop complaining about where you are. Start preparing for where you're going. Because faithfulness in small things doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes your character. And character is what separates temporary success from permanent significance. Money reveals your master. The love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. The love of it, the worship of it, the slavery to it. Money is a tool, not a god, a servant, not a master, a resource, not a religion. But somewhere along the way, you switched positions. You started serving what should serve you. Here's the test. When you think about money, what do you feel? Anxiety or peace? Fear or faith? Desperation or confidence? Your emotional reaction to money reveals your relationship with money. And your relationship with money determines your success with money. You can't manage what you worship. You can't control what controls you. I had more wealth than any king before or after me, gold like dust, silver like stones, riches beyond counting. But money never owned me, I owned money. Money never controlled me, I controlled money. Money never defined me. I defined money because I understood something that escapes most people. Money amplifies who you already are. It doesn't change your character, it reveals it. Poor people think money will solve all their problems. Rich people know money creates new problems. Broke people worship money they don't have. Wealthy people manage money they do have. Desperate people chase money. Wise people attract money. The difference isn't in the bank account, it's in the mindset. You're not poor because you lack money. You're poor because you lack wisdom about money. You're not broke because opportunities don't exist. You're broke because you don't recognize opportunities when they exist. You're not struggling financially because God doesn't want you wealthy. You're struggling financially because you don't understand God's principles of wealth. Abraham was wealthy, Job was wealthy, Solomon was wealthy. God doesn't hate rich people. He hates people who get rich through wrong methods. He doesn't despise wealth. He despises the worship of wealth. He doesn't oppose prosperity. He opposes prosperity without purpose. When you get your relationship with money right, money starts working for you. When you understand money's proper place, money finds its proper place. When you serve God instead of gold, gold starts serving you. But when you chase money more than you chase wisdom, you'll have neither money nor wisdom. Stop loving money. Start managing money. Because money is a terrible master but an excellent servant. The education that creates millionaires. Wisdom is the principal thing, not intelligence, not education, not connections. Wisdom, the kind of financial understanding that turns minimum wage into maximum wealth. The kind of money management that creates generational change. The kind of economic education they don't teach in school because schools aren't designed to create wealth. They're designed to create workers. You can make $1 million and still be broke. You can earn 6 figures and still live paycheck to paycheck. You can have a high salary and low net worth. Because income without wisdom leads to poverty with a paycheck. Earnings without education leads to wealth without wisdom. Money without management leads to abundance without security. Here's what they won't tell you in business school. Financial ignorance affects rich people too. Doctors go bankrupt. Lawyers lose everything. Athletes earn millions and retire broke, not because they couldn't make money, because they never learned to manage money, not because they lacked income, because they lacked wisdom. Proverbs says, get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. Not get money, and with all you're getting, get more money. Wisdom first, understanding second, money third, because wisdom creates wealth, understanding maintains wealth. But money without wisdom destroys wealth. Money without understanding wastes wealth. You need spiritual financial education, the kind of money management that aligns with biblical principles, the kind of wealth building that honors God's design, the kind of financial planning that considers eternity, not just emergency. Because secular financial advice only considers your wallet, biblical financial wisdom considers your soul. Joseph saved during abundance to survive scarcity. He prepared during harvest to endure famine. He planned during prosperity to provide during poverty. This isn't just good economics. This is spiritual wisdom. This is eternal perspective. This is divine direction for earthly decisions. Your financial education determines your financial destination. Your money management determines your money multiplication. Your understanding of wealth determines your accumulation of wealth. Stop trying to earn your way out of ignorance. Start learning your way into wisdom, because financial education isn't just about making money. It's about making money work for you. The entrepreneurial DNA of kings. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. Having no commander, no overseer or ruler, it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. The ant doesn't wait for permission to work, doesn't need supervision to succeed, doesn't require instruction to improve. It sees what needs to be done and does it. You're waiting for someone to give you a job instead of creating your own opportunity. Waiting for someone to promote you instead of promoting yourself. Waiting for someone to pay you more instead of earning more. Waiting for someone to recognize your value instead of adding value. You've got it backwards. Kings don't wait for permission. They create possibilities. Entrepreneurship isn't about starting a business. It's about starting with vision. It's about seeing problems as opportunities, seeing needs as income streams, seeing gaps as growth potential. It's about thinking like an owner, not an employee. Acting like a creator, not a consumer. Living like a king, not a servant. But here's what stops most people. They think they need perfect conditions to start. Perfect credit, perfect timing, perfect products, perfect markets, perfect teams. They're waiting for perfect circumstances that will never come. While they wait, opportunities walk past their door and knock on someone else's. I built an empire with wisdom, not capital. I created wealth with understanding, not inheritance. I established a kingdom with knowledge, not connections. The resources I needed came after I proved I could manage what I had. The money I wanted followed after I demonstrated I could multiply what I received. The opportunities I deserved appeared after I prepared for what I desired. You don't need money to make money. You need wisdom to attract money. You don't need capital to start. You need character to succeed. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need clear vision. You don't need everything figured out. You need faith to figure it out as you go. Stop making excuses. Start making money. Stop waiting for the right time. Start creating the right time. Stop looking for opportunities. Start becoming the opportunity. Because entrepreneurship isn't just about building businesses. It's about building the future. And the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Crisis reveals character. Character creates wealth. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Crisis doesn't create character. It reveals character. It doesn't build strength. It exposes strength. It doesn't manufacture courage. It unveils courage. And right now, in the middle of your struggle, your real strength is being revealed. The question is, what are you discovering about yourself? Joseph prospered in prison. Daniel succeeded in exile. Moses led from the wilderness. David wrote Psalms in caves. Your location doesn't determine your destination. Your circumstances don't control your character. Your situation doesn't define your success. How you respond to crisis reveals who you really are, and who you really are determines what you'll really achieve. You think crisis is your enemy. Crisis is your revealer. You think problems are punishments. Problems are promotions. You think challenges are curses. Challenges are opportunities wearing work clothes. The very thing you're complaining about could be the very thing that changes your life. The problem you're avoiding could be the problem that makes you millions. Here's what separates successful people from struggling people. Struggling people run from crisis. Successful people run toward crisis. Struggling people see crisis as something to survive. Successful people see crisis as something to solve, and people who solve problems get paid. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the paycheck you receive. But here's what destroys most people during difficult times. They focus on what they're losing instead of what they're learning. They concentrate on what's being taken away instead of what's being revealed. They obsess over what's ending instead of what's beginning. They waste their crisis on complaints instead of using their crisis for character development. Every crisis comes with hidden opportunities. Every problem contains concealed possibilities. Every challenge carries camouflaged chances, but you only see them when you look for them. You only find them when you search for them. You only receive them when you prepare for them. Stop running from your problems. Start running toward your purpose. Stop avoiding your challenges. Start embracing your calling. Stop wasting your crisis. Start using your crisis, because crisis doesn't just reveal your character. It creates your future, and your future is being forged right now in the fire of your current struggle. Purpose powers prosperity. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. I had everything and it meant nothing. Possessed everything and felt empty. Achieved everything and found futility. Because prosperity without purpose is just expensive emptiness. Wealth without wisdom is just golden garbage. Success without significance is just sophisticated slavery. You think money will give you meaning. You think wealth will provide purpose. You think prosperity will deliver fulfillment. You're chasing shadows and calling them substance, pursuing illusions and naming them dreams, following mirages and believing they're destinations. Money without mission is meaningless. Wealth without calling is worthless. Here's what I learned after building the greatest kingdom in history. Money magnifies your emptiness if you're empty inside. Wealth amplifies your purposelessness if you lack purpose. Success multiplies your meaninglessness if your life has no meaning. You can't buy purpose. You can't purchase calling. You can't acquire significance with a credit card. Daniel could have compromised for comfort, sold his convictions for security, traded his integrity for influence, but he understood something that escapes most people. Clean money spent on clear purpose creates lasting impact. Dirty money spent on selfish desires creates temporary pleasure. Purpose-driven prosperity builds legacies. Self-centered success builds monuments to emptiness. Your money should serve your mission, not the other way around. Your wealth should fund your calling, not replace your calling. Your prosperity should amplify your purpose, not substitute for your purpose. When God is at the center of your financial life, money becomes a tool for kingdom building. When money is at the center of your spiritual life, God becomes a tool for wealth building. But here's the secret successful people understand. When your purpose is clear, your prosperity is sure. When your mission is defined, your money follows. When your calling is confirmed, your cash flows. Because God doesn't just bless what you do. He blesses who you become. He doesn't just multiply what you earn. He multiplies what you deserve. Stop chasing money without meaning. Start building wealth with purpose. Stop accumulating stuff. Start creating significance. Because prosperity without purpose is the most expensive prison you'll ever build. But purpose-driven prosperity, that's the foundation of true wealth and lasting legacy. Faith without works is bankruptcy. Faith without works is dead. And dead faith produces dead dreams, dead finances, and dead futures. You pray for prosperity but won't prepare for prosperity. You ask for abundance but won't work for abundance. You beg for breakthrough but won't break through your own limitations. You want God to change your situation without you changing your behavior. Here's what religious people get wrong about wealth. They think faith means waiting passively for God to drop money from heaven. They believe spirituality means avoiding earthly responsibility. They assume prayer replaces preparation, hope substitutes for hustle, and faith eliminates the need for action. They're wrong, dead wrong. I didn't just pray for wisdom, I applied wisdom. I didn't just ask for understanding, I acted on understanding. I didn't just believe in prosperity, I built prosperity. I didn't just have faith in God's promises. I had faith in action. I combined divine revelation with human perspiration. I mixed spiritual vision with practical execution. You want to know why your prayers aren't being answered? Because you're not answering your prayers. God gave you hands to work, minds to think, and hearts to dream. But you're sitting there waiting for Him to do what He equipped you to do. You're expecting divine intervention without human participation. You're wanting supernatural results without natural effort. Every financial decision you make is a declaration of faith. Every investment you choose reveals your beliefs. Every spending habit exposes your values. Every saving strategy demonstrates your priorities. Your bank account is a spiritual statement. Your budget is a faith document. Your financial planning is your practical theology. But here's what transforms everything. When your actions align with your prayers, miracles happen. When your work matches your worship, breakthroughs occur. When your behavior confirms your beliefs, God moves mountains. When your faith gets hands and feet, heaven gets involved. Stop praying without acting. Start combining faith with works. Stop believing without behaving. Start matching your prayers with your performance. Stop hoping without hustling. Start backing your faith with action. Because faith without works isn't just dead, it's broke. And God didn't design you to be broke. He designed you to be blessed. But blessings require both faith and action working together. Your daily decisions determine your destiny. Every morning you wake up, you make a choice. Build or destroy, create or consume, invest or spend, grow or shrink. Your daily decisions are like compound interest. Small choices made consistently create massive results. Tiny habits practiced repeatedly produce tremendous outcomes. Minor changes implemented daily generate major transformations. You think your financial problems are complicated. They're not. You think your money issues are complex. They're simple. You're making small bad decisions every day that create big bad results over time. You're choosing immediate pleasure over long-term prosperity. You're selecting temporary comfort over permanent change. You're picking current convenience over future significance. Here's the brutal truth. You are where you are because of the choices you've made. You earn what you earn because of the decisions you've decided. You have what you have because of the actions you've taken. Your current financial situation is the sum total of your past financial choices, and your future financial destination depends on your present financial decisions. But here's what gives me hope. If bad decisions created your current situation, good decisions can create a different situation. If poor choices built your present reality, wise choices can build a better reality. If destructive habits produced your current results, productive habits can produce different results. Your past doesn't determine your future. Your choices do. Biblical wisdom wasn't meant to be admired. It was meant to be applied. Proverbs weren't written to be quoted. They were written to be lived. My teachings weren't designed to impress your mind. They were designed to transform your life. Wisdom without application is just religious decoration. Knowledge without action is just spiritual entertainment. You don't need more information. You need more application. You don't need more teaching. You need more doing. You don't need more sermons, you need more service. You don't need more conferences, you need more consistency. The wisdom you already have is enough to change your life, if you'll use it. Stop waiting for more revelation. Start using current information. Stop seeking more knowledge. Start applying existing wisdom. Stop accumulating more teaching. Start implementing daily action. Because your transformation isn't waiting for more wisdom. It's waiting for you to use the wisdom you already possess. The 30-Day Solomon Challenge. Right now in this moment, your financial future hangs in the balance. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, right now. The next 30 days will either accelerate your prosperity or continue your poverty. The choice is yours. But choosing nothing is still a choice. And choosing nothing chooses everything to stay the same. Here's what I want you to do immediately. Close this video. Grab a notebook. Write down every financial habit you currently have. List every money decision you made this week. Document every spending pattern you've developed. Then ask yourself this question. If I continue these exact same financial behaviors for the next 10 years, where will I be? If you don't like that answer, today is the day to change. Study Proverbs for 30 days. Read one chapter every day. Apply one principle immediately. Take one action daily. Make one change consistently, not because you have to, because you want to, not because someone is forcing you. Because you're choosing to, not because it's easy, because you're strong enough to do what's difficult. Pray with intention for 30 days, not the lazy prayers you've been praying. Powerful prayers that align your heart with God's heart. Strategic prayers that invite divine wisdom into earthly decisions. Specific prayers that request clarity for financial choices. Surrendered prayers that put God's will above your wants. Submitted prayers that seek His kingdom first and trust Him to add everything else. But here's the real test. I want you to do something most people won't do. I want you to make a public commitment right now. In the comments below, tell everyone watching that you're done being broke, done accepting financial mediocrity, done making excuses for economic failure, done living below your divine potential. Make a declaration of financial faith that the whole world can see. Write this. My name is, and today I choose Solomon's wisdom over worldly foolishness. Today I choose biblical principles over popular opinions. Today I choose delayed gratification over immediate satisfaction. Today I choose to build wealth God's way instead of the world's way. Today I commit to 30 days of applying ancient wisdom to modern money. This isn't just a comment, it's a covenant. Not just a post, it's a promise. Not just words, it's a witness. You're making a public declaration that your financial future starts today, that your prosperity begins now. That your transformation is no longer delayed. Because public commitment creates private accountability, and private accountability produces public results. The moment of truth has arrived. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Right now, this very second, your financial destiny is being written by the choices you make in the next 60 seconds. You've heard the wisdom, you've seen the examples, you've learned the principles, but knowledge without action is worthless. Understanding without implementation is poverty dressed in education. You can know every verse in Proverbs and still die broke if you don't apply what you know. Stop lying to yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. Your bank account doesn't care about your intentions. Your bills don't accept your potential as payment. Your dreams don't fund themselves with your good ideas. The same wisdom that made me the richest king in history is available to you right now. The same principles that built my empire can build your legacy. The same understanding that created my wealth can create your breakthrough. But only if you act, only if you move, only if you decide that today is different from yesterday. Every second you hesitate is a second your competition gains ground. Every moment you delay is a moment your opportunity slips away. Every minute you waste making excuses is a minute you could be making money. If you want to continue this transformation, don't wait. Subscribe now, because this isn't just content. This is your calling. This isn't just information. This is your invitation to a completely different life. The clock is ticking, your destiny is waiting, your prosperity is calling your name. But it won't wait forever. It won't keep knocking. It won't keep calling. Not tomorrow, not later, not when you feel like it. Right now, this moment, this second. Your financial breakthrough starts now.